Hey everyone, it's Geegado Megwan Kwe, Talking Feather Woman, aka Rollie, and we are here for the second time today of being able to have an opportunity for us to have this impromptu conversation with Jeannette, who is it Janet or Jeannette? How do you say pronounce
Jeanette.
it?
Well,
Jeannette.
I like the way you pronunciate it.
Well, I'm Francais, so
I love that. I'm going to try to change to that, but no, it's Jeanette. Thank you.
so Jeannette is going to be joining us today to share a little bit about who she is and what she's doing and where she's coming from, and because she's one of our speakers. So this is another Chatting with Wisdom, but it is a special edition with being able to have an introduction to our speakers from now until the 23rd. I can't believe how quickly time has flown, and we were just talking about how fast time just kind of keeps going and just doesn't seem to stop, does it?
It has gone by so fast. I've blinked and now I'm 53. How did that happen?
Right?
Yeah, I can't believe, and my baby is almost 15, and yes, I can't believe
Well,
it.
my baby had a baby last year who's going to be a
Wow.
year next month.
Oh,
So during the conference, my grandbaby turns a year old, and so like I definitely have just blinked, and my children are all grown and having children of their own. So that's crazy. So you still have
wait
they're
for
only
that
at
time.
15. So
Yes. Well, we have 5 together in a blended family in
okay.
4 states. So the oldest is 26 and the youngest is 14. But I can't wait to be a GG is what I'm going to call myself, not a grandma. I'm going to be a GG.
And I'm a Nookum. So that's
There you go.
yeah. So and
Okay.
I love it. Because we're francophone, my son's always saying, "Yeah, but you're supposed to be a mamere," and I'm like, "No, that's not it. We're also Métis, so I'm going to be a Nookum," and so and he actually has the N sound now, so he doesn't actually say it yet. But my husband is Shumas, and so he can actually say Shumas. It's actually really cool. So.
I cannot wait for that time, although my husband says to wait. But yes, I'm looking forward to that time. Although I'm trying to stay present, and I am staying present with the teenager right now.
And that is so challenging sometimes to be able to just stay present in this moment. And just with how crazy things have been today, because I'm working on 2 projects. We're doing one as a volunteer and then this one that I love dearly. And my husband was talking to me, and I know I acknowledged him. I know that I said yes to whatever that he said. And then I looked at him and went, I'm not present. I don't know what you just asked me, and I don't know what I just
You
agreed
don't know
to.
what you agreed to. Yes.
So, and he's like, "It's okay. We'll talk about it later." I'm like, "Okay, good, because I don't remember what. It's just been a crazy busy day today." So, but yeah. So, so tell me. So where are you from?
I was born and raised, and actually right now although I've lived all over the United States, I live in Modesto, California. So in the Central Valley of California, back on the same area I lived in when I grew up, which is ironic since I have been all over the country, but back here for now and enjoying the California weather.
Beautiful. I love that. I love how it comes full circle, right? So life really truly
Yes.
does come full circle, and I love that. And so it's incredible how we see the patterns and change that's happening. So tell me a little bit more about you.
About me. Well, for as long as I could remember, I've always wanted to help people and animals. From the earliest memories, I was always giving back, and that's just kind of been the way my life has gone. And my goal is to see what I can do to help the most people that I can help them. And that way that looks like may change as time goes on. But speaking, coaching now is what I do. Writing, I'm an author too, so writing books, but whatever I can do to help others have a better life. I changed everything when my mom passed away 14 years ago, and the way that I do that, the way I help others. There was standing room only at her funeral because she helped so many people, but she was very quiet, very opposite of me. I'm more like my dad, loud Sicilian. She was very quiet, but she helped so many people that they wanted to come and honor her. And so I'm
Beautiful.
living my parents' legacy.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful to be able to do that. And then it's a legacy that you get to teach your own children to be able to talk about what, so that they're going to be able to learn, to be able to help and do all these things. And my youngest is well, they're both an adult, but my youngest, one of the things that the values that he's actually picked up from us is the importance of family. And so like when anything's going on with his grandmother, it's like constantly like, okay, Mamere, I can come and help you anytime that you need me to. Like you just name the time and place and I'll be right there to be able to help you. And I just love that those values that that we don't necessarily instill, but that we just get to practice and be part of, that your kids get to learn some of those patterns.
Pick it up. They pick up what you do, what they see you doing, not so much what you say all the time, but what they see you doing. And I've tried to instill in them all to connect with what their soul purpose is. And no matter what that is, it may not be speaking on stage like I do, or coaching or writing, but whatever that is, to serve others. Because I think every job is important. And I think every job you can serve others in some way, as long as they're happy doing what they're doing and they've connected with their soul purpose. And it may be just an hour a week or 2 hours a week, not their full-time job, but connecting and being happy in what you're doing in life is so important, because life is so very short.
It really is. And it really is. And so like, I know that that's one of the things that, so volunteering and being part of community is really important. And that was something that for sure that I created with my kids, and so that my kids were able to do that. And I see when my kids are stepping out to go and help someone else, and it's like, wow, this is incredible. I love this. But that's also in terms of being able to figure out how do we set those boundaries, right? So like, how do we make sure that we are still being connected and looked after, which is the whole purpose of the conference, is that power of self-love. Because women in particular forget that they need to make sure that they're loving on themselves and making sure that they're doing the things that they need to do to be able to help them, right?
We give up taking care of ourselves. If we have less time, or, if we don't have enough time to finish things, we give up ourselves first, usually, right? But you have to do that self-care in order to be the best you for everybody else. And my family knows my self-care time, and they know not to mess with it, because if I don't do that, I'm not the best I can be for them and for me and for the others I'm serving. Self-care is so important, but we're caretakers. We take care of others.
Yes.
And it's hard to sometimes step back and say, well, what about me? And that's okay to say, what about me? Which I'm giving you all permission. Please take care of yourselves too, because sometimes I think we feel like we don't have that permission.
And that is so important. So, because it's second nature for us, right? To just kind of say, oh, whatever. Like, I know that even with my husband, it's kind of like, did you not realize that those things needed to be done? Like, I know they weren't on your checklist, but did you?
No, they don't.
Right?
And
it's like, we just automatically, for the most part, just take over and do the things that we need to be doing. So tell me a little bit about what it is that you're going to be talking about during the conference.
I'm talking about unleashing your inner Wonder Woman. I believe that we all have our own superheroes inside of us. And part of that is connecting to our soul purpose and our inner superhero traits, is what I call them, which is your soul purpose and the things that you're good at. What are you good at? What do you love doing? What brings you joy? So I'm talking about how you can connect so that you can take care of yourself in order to then take care of others and be the best you can be and serve. And I love this subject. I obviously love Wonder Woman and superheroes. And I do think that all of us have our own inner superhero traits.
We really do. And that is like, so of course we're focusing on women, but it's also male and female, right? So like we all have that. And so for anybody who watches Grey's Anatomy, I love when Amelia stands in her her superwoman pose of like before she actually goes in and does brain surgery, right? So it's
Really?
just
I
like,
haven't seen that.
yes, she does. She just before she goes in, and that's something that
Power
she
pose.
teaches the rest of her, the rest of her team and whoever it is that's coming in with her. They actually put their hands into that superwoman pose and or
that.
Superman, depending on who's there. But and they all just stand with her as she just kind of like breathes in all the energy that she needs so that she can then focus on that. And so like I just always think that that's super incredible. And so when I saw that that was your topic, it was like, wow, this is so cool. And we often talk about that, like that piece of being like that superwoman. And one of the graphics, and I thought about you, and I've used these types of graphics in the past, but I thought about you specifically when I was doing the social media posts, and it was like, oh, there's a superwoman pose, or a superwoman, like somebody with a cape and that kind of thing, because that's what the conversation was talking about. And so I immediately thought about you, and it's like, oh, this is incredible. We actually get to talk about this and like really dive in deep into who are we and what are some of those characteristics that we have.
I want to thank Linda Carter for being the original Wonder Woman. I mean, not in the comic books, but in on TV, which does age me. I know. I love Linda Carter. I love Wonder Woman. I like the new Wonder Woman too, but just that power pose she was so good at, right? If you look at pictures of her, and please always connect me with that. I'm good with that. I absolutely love it. But what you said about, I used to watch Grey's Anatomy in the beginning. I haven't watched it in a while. TV has been like so far from my reach lately, just because I've been doing other things. But stopping before you go to do brain surgery, but everybody is stopping and taking a breath and bringing that energy in. And I think that's something we should look at and say, okay, before you do something that's tough, before you do something that takes all of your attention, are you breathing? Are you taking those breaths in? Because we tend to hold our breath. We tend to not breathe deeply. We tend to do very shallow breathing, and getting your brain going, doing the power pose, doing whatever you can, like to cross your body to get those brain going. That's important, to stop and take a breath.
Yes, absolutely.
And we don't do that very often. So
we don't.
Breath work, very essential. So I love the correlation with that. Like, yes, before I do brain surgery, I go ahead and I take in everything. I know it's not a real thing. It's TV.
No, but it's still showing, because like if anybody who's watched her, like she's one of the ones that have had difficulty with addictions, and she's had lots of grief, and there's been lots of trauma in her life. And so like just that whole being able to, so yes, she's a brain surgeon, but she still needs to figure out how to be able to navigate those emotions and it's like just being able to clear our mind. And so during just before Christmas, we had a grief session. And so it was a Christmas grief, talking about how we navigate around grief during the holidays. And one of the ladies that was presenting, her name's Maggie. And so one of the ladies who were there, one of the things that she said, and it really, because we always talk about like, everybody's like too busy, you don't have enough time. And one of the things she said is that we all have enough time to be able to take a few deep breaths. We all have enough time to be able to take those moments just to be able to be, because we all have to pee. Right? And so like
you have to pee because you have to pee. There you go. We're rhyming, like we're poets here. But, when you stop at a stoplight, when you're, if you connect it with something that you do every day, a habit, you build a new habit.
Absolutely.
And I'm really learning to use breath work. I mean, I've always done deep breathing, and especially I used to have panic attacks a long time ago, and breathing is what, deep breathing is what got me to stop those. But I have not done it to this, like with the breath work, just for a long time, a few minutes. And someone in a sister circle, Tisha Marie, hello, if you're out there. We talked about breath work, and we had breath work there. And so I've really been trying to concentrate on that, because it does give you more energy. It does give you more oxygen, and does allow you to think. And we need that through our body. We need that oxygen.
Yes.
So it's very present in my mind. There we go with present again. It's
again.
present.
And so, and that is definitely, and just being able to, the other piece of things that keep coming up a lot is just being our authentic selves, right? So being able to, like, one of the things that you've shared is like, I not always present, right? So I'm working on being able to bring that into my daily practice, into the things that I'm doing. And like, that just shows that we're not perfect. So even though we may be presenters, or we may be facilitating this workshop, or we may be doing this or that or the other thing, it doesn't mean that we don't still always have something to learn, and that we don't always have something that we can bring to be able to enhance what it is that we're already doing.
Always learn. I'm learning every day. Every day I'm learning. And sometimes my kids tell me things that I've taught them to remind me when I'm learning. But
Yeah.
you get caught up in the moment, and you're always growing, you're always learning. And I think being there and presenting to people, but being vulnerable and sharing and showing that I'm still learning and always growing.
Yes.
And I think we can learn every day. I love to listen to books on tape to learn. I love to read books for self-growth, and constantly do what I can to improve myself. Because believe me, I'm not perfect. I think my kids would tell you that I absolutely am not perfect, but I'm
really good at that.
on myself. And I learn from others all the time. I'm looking forward to seeing the other presenters and hearing them talk and learning from them this weekend.
Absolutely.
I think we can all just work together to learn from each other. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I love meeting other people and meeting people from all over the world. I mean, how amazing is that you have people from everywhere that are going to be sharing with everyone that's listening. That is amazing and awesome. The way we can all connect, even though we're thousands of miles away from each other.
And even like different time zones. And I'm always amazed with the people who are, so like we follow Eastern time, but and we start a little later in the day, so that way there just gives that bigger gap. But I love when we see the participants and or the speakers that actually change their time zone so that they can actually be present for the entire conference. Every year we've had in the last 4 years that we've been doing this virtually, well, I guess technically this is the 4th, and so we've had someone generally more than one that actually stays with us the entire time. Others are like doing their normal sleep patterns and they come in when they can. But I love when somebody says, I'm committing to this weekend for the entire weekend, and I'm going to be present, and I am just going to like follow the exact same pattern and sleep patterns that everyone else is doing. Because if we were flying to the conference, then that's exactly what you would be doing, right? So it's really cool.
It's important.
I really love it. And I love the interaction. Is there anything else that you think is really important for people to hear before we head out?
I would say remember to be present and learn, and because time flies by. I'm also working on that, and just enjoy life, because it's way too short to live unhappily. It's very important to do what you can to enjoy life, connect to your soul purpose.
I absolutely
serve others. Can't forget that. Serve others.
I love that so much. And I can't wait to be present with you over the course of the weekend. So March 8th, 9th, and 10th. And if you have not yet registered, the early bird is until the 23rd of February, Eastern time. So if you guys want to get in on some pretty nice deals. And for anybody who is not Canadian, it is, and I say this all the time, is that if you're used to the US dollars, you automatically get a discount, right? So yeah, it's automatically cheaper if you're used to following Canadian or US dollars. But yeah, so like you'll get like a double whammy in terms of, because everything's in Canadian dollars. And so you get a double whammy discount. So don't forget to register, come and join us. And
we would love to see you there.
Absolutely. And so we will talk later, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Maybe we're going to go, if I can get my mouse to go to where it's supposed to go. Technology is wonderful.